Hey everybody, today is a day of a how-to video. I'm going to do a how-to video on something that a lot of people may or may not know much about. This is going to be about squares. It's not really a how-to. I'll do some marking if I can find a pencil or a scribe or something, or make a scribe. But this is going to be a video on 4 different types of squares that I use. I have another one somewhere that I use. That'd be number 5, but I can't find it at the moment. And you know, my garage is a mess. So, and I know I have 2 or 3 of them laying around. But this is going to be just real quick. Well, sort of quick. A description about different squares and their uses. How I use them. Now, this is how I use them. Okay. All right. I'll flip this around and get started and do some explanation. Then I'll do some showing. Anyway, here we go. All right. First off, first square is going to be this. This is just a regular 90 I can't speak today. 90-degree square. As you can tell, this one's old. You can't read the measurements on it anymore. Okay. This one was probably my great-grandfather's. Okay, you can see the age on it. No, it has not been left out in the rain that I know of. Maybe it has, maybe it hasn't. I'm having camera focus issues. But it's an old square, but it holds true. That's a 90 degree. That's all it does. 90 degree and a short, and it's also a short straight edge. Now we move on to this combination square. Now my wording may not be correct, but this is a combination square. Okay. My last project, I had it down to what, 1.1/8 or so. All you gotta do is twist this knob right here, and it slides. I'll just hold it down here like this. You can get it to slide, maybe. It's hard to do this stuff one-handed. Anyway, it'll slide. Let me put it like this. Alright, it'll slide. You can set it at whatever. This one's a little rusty, but it's a good one. You see it's got all the marks. This one goes all the way up to 16 inches. I have a couple that go up to 12. Focus. Go up to 12 inches. This one's a 16. This one's actually my favorite. The good thing about this one is it's a 90 degree and a 45 degree. And if you don't have a torpedo level handy, you can remove the ruler part and use it as a level. And it also has a little scribe if you don't want pencil marks. Let me set it down here. If you don't want pencil marks on your project, you can unscrew this right here. Maybe just pull it out. Now this one's a screw in. Unscrew this right here. And it gives you a little scribe. And I'll show you real quick. See that mark? That's where you would cut. You just put it right along here and go just like that. It gives you a straight line. Now, let me get that put back together. And we'll talk about these other two. This one here is a great square to have. Now, you don't have to get the fancy Swanson. I was doing some construction work when I bought this one and needed a good one, so I got this one. It's not expensive, but it's a good one. That's a good brand name. I'm not sponsored by them by no means. Okay, so now we move on. This one. Okay, this one's kind of big to have in full screen. You see it's got the measurements on it. Okay, this is called a framing square. A construction worker uses this one on plywood. Can use it on drywall. I have in the past. But it's a 90-degree only, non-adjustable. That little hole is to hang it on the wall, which I don't. I hang it like this, and I'm going to go ahead and put it up and show you. Alright, I hang it just like this in a drawer. That way it stays at a 90-degree at all times. Okay, nothing hanging, so it can't warp. I'm going to go ahead and put this one up. This one don't really matter. It don't warp anyway. Yeah, Sawzall and all that good stuff there. I'll get into how-to with all those tools later. I'll go ahead and put this one up. This is the one I'm going to use. Okay. This blue one right here, in case you don't know, for you new homeowners, older homeowners that want to learn or that are doing drywall work, you need to have one very similar to this one. Okay, this is what they call a drywall square. Okay, or at least that's what I call it. A drywall square. Comes in very handy for drywall. You can mark plywood also because, you know, it's a 4x8 sheet. This is 4 foot long from right there. Alright, you see, this would be 4 foot if you're measuring on this side. This would be 0. Come down here. This would be 48 inches or 4 foot right here. This would be your 0. 1, 2, so on. Now over here, let's go 16 right here to 0. Then on the other side it goes to 6. So 16 and 6, 16 inches plus 6 inches is what? 22? Well, guess what? This is 2 inches wide. Here, let me find a tape measure. Right here's one. Right here's a tape measure. Put that on there, and I'll show you. That is 2 inches wide. So that means this right here, from here to here, 16 plus 2 is 18 plus 6 is 24. So that's 2 foot. That's half of a 4 foot sheet of 4x8 sheet of plywood right here. Halfway. Now, I'll show you. I'm just going to put it on a piece of drywall here I've already ripped it down, used it on my remodel project in the house that I'm not videoing. But you hook it on the end like so. Alright. You see square there. So then that means that's a 90-degree cut. All the way, roughly halfway. Then you would go to the other side, measure it, and do the same thing. Lay this on here, and you put a mark, or you'd use your utility knife and cut it right along that edge. And that would give you your length, or your long cut. You can do the opposite direction. This one I don't worry about too much. I know my garage is a mess. I need to get it all cleaned up. Time. This one you don't have to be real particular, but I'll just stick it right here. I like to try to hang it if I can like that, somewhere like that, but if I can't, I don't care. I'll flip it over the other way to where that part's on the ground and it'll stand up. Okie dokie. Now, can I find a pencil? No. But I'll show you how easy it is just with a screw. As you can see here, just a regular drywall screw. Okay. Now, to find out if a board is square. As you can see, This is an old cut. I have not squared this up already. I have not cut the end to make it square. Okay. So, now, to find out if it's square, all you do, stick that on there like so. Pull it down. Is there a crack? No. So that means that section is square. I'll flip it over the other way here to here. Is there a crack? No. Yeah, right there. So this side is not square. So you would have to bring it up like this. Put a mark across, all the way across. And then cut it. And then you'd have a 90-degree angles on both sides. So then it would be square. 90 plus 90 makes 180. You come over here. You would do the same thing if it's square. 90 plus 90 is 180. And then you take 180 plus 180. That's a square piece of wood. And there you go. Yeah, I know. 360 degrees is a circle. But think of a rectangle with 90-degree angles as a circle for squareness. It's a degree thing. That's how I figure it. Okay? If this end equals 180, this end equals 180. That's 360 degrees. So you could go around here and be the same all the way around 360 degrees. Now, there's other mathematical ways to do that, but you want 90s, make it easy. All right? I'm not going to show that. But now, this square here doesn't only do 90s, correct? It'll do a 45. So what you would do is you got this in square already. Set it on there like so. On this side instead of this side. See, that side would be square. This side is 45. So you slide it up right here. And you draw your mark all the way down to the end. You cut that off, and what you got? 45 degree. That's one way you can always check this tool right here. So called a miter saw. You see it's got degrees. And it moves just like so. You can set it at 45 degrees. Just like so. You can actually check with your line. You can check if this is true. If that fence and the saw is true to a 45 degree. Same with if you put a 90-degree square and you cut it square. Then you put it on here. You can run the blade right beside it without turning it on. Just like so. And you can tell if your saw is set at 0, which is a 90-degree angle to this fence. Anyway, that's the squares I have handy. Like I say, I have actually two other squares. I have a carpenter square, which is a big triangle. I got 2 or 3 of them floating around. And I also have a angle finding square. Yeah, it's funny, right? Angle finding square? That's what I call it. That's what I call it. Angle finding square. An angle finding square where this is fixed. There's actually a wing nut in a long oval spot. And that wing nut moves, and this actually moves on this, or this moves on that. And then you set your angle, you bring it back, you make a cut, and it's correct. Anywho, I don't have either one of them to show you right now. This is the Village Idiot doing a how-to and a learning experience. Like it or not, it's the way I do it. Have fun. See you all later. Bye.